All right, everyone, what is going on? Welcome to another Basement Radio Arcade rant. Wanted to do a quick rant because, wow, geez, I don't even know what to, let's like do a sound check real quick. All right, everyone, what is going on? All right, we're good. Basement Radio Arcade rant. So that's the feedback, guys. Sorry about that. Just wanted to make sure everything was cool. All right, guys, so we're live. Big shout out to Worry Wort, the live chat. He says, I'm ready to go get the people who gave Gears a 7 and the ones who gave it a 10. Who's with me? Wraith the Emperor, what's up? What's going on, man? Worry. Let's grab the pitchforks, my friend. Let's go. Let's go out there and protest. I can't believe this is the travesty of it all, guys. I wanted to talk about this because you guys know here on BRAP we comment on social commentary on things that we see on the Twitters and gaming forums and whatnot. What's going on in the gaming industry, the gaming world. We are talk shows, so hence we talk about these things. But it's really fascinating to me. So Gears 5 just came out. Big shout out to Aaron Greenberg and the Coalition for allowing me the honor and pleasure of privilege, as to say, to review Gears 5. I did get a review copy. Currently playing the game right now. I am working on the review. I can give you my quick impressions. I'm enjoying this game a lot. I'm enjoying it more than 4. I think the narrative is much better. The characters are better fleshed out in this for in Gears 5 than they were in 4. Um, they open up some of the like some of the corridor maps in the game. It kind of force you to explore so you can upgrade Jack, which is kind of cool. I think that's cool. And I mentioned this on Crossfire yesterday. I felt like there are some pacing issues with the game. The game transitions from more of that traditional Gears corridor map level design to more of that open world, I felt it was a little disconnected. Some of the side missions just really didn't. I felt like they really like connect with me as I was playing the game. And look, it's hard to. I think The Witcher 3 is probably the only game that I can think of that really did a hell of a job with with side missions and really making those side missions feel important and making it feel like you weren't deviating from the game and you weren't sitting there saying, okay, why am I doing this? What's the purpose of this? So, um, look, in 85, the game's an 85 Metacritic. OpenCritic is 86. And people are fucking losing their minds. People are losing their minds. I cannot make this up. People are losing their minds. People are upset that Gears is an 85 Metacritic. When did an 85 Metacritic, an aggregate score of an 85, become bad? Yeah, Warrior Ward says, I'm here now. I must stop this. I mean, no matter if you're in your late 40s, this is a great cause, no? Of course, if you know Worry, he is making light of the situation and the topic. Worry, if you'd like to join me in this rant, um, feel free. What's up, Irrelevant Native? So, and I'm seeing people upset over or voicing their displeasure over the fact that GameStop gave it a 7 or GameSpot. Always mix those two up. GameSpot gave it a 7. I mean, look, big fucking deal. GameSpot gave it a 7. Look, guys, and I keep saying this. It's still an 85 Metacritic. It's still a very good aggregate review of a good game. And 85 to me, in my opinion, sounds about right. Um, you know, and I now again, I don't agree with. I wouldn't have given the game a 70 where from what I've experienced so far. But if GameStop or GameSpot, there I go again. If GameSpot felt like, hey, you know what, we're gonna give this game a 7, then so be it. That is on them. That is their right. It is not reckless of them to give this game a 7. It's like it's funny. It's like, and I don't know what's going on in the gaming community where we feel the need when our opinions aren't validated, and not mine because I really don't put a whole lot of weight into reviews. I do read them, um, just to get insight into what people think about the game that they played and kind of get their thoughts and stuff. Because I'm just interested. I'm interested in hearing feedback on players' experiences. Because look, let's revisit this. I've talked about this in length in the past. Reviews consist of two things: facts and opinion. Facts and opinion. And people are getting mad over other people's opinion on a game. Look, guys, the reviewer's job is not to confirm your own personal bias, to champion the console that you support. That's not the job of the media. Where it says, shut up, we must stop the bias. Let's do a die-in outside Chick-fil-A. And I don't like Xbox fans, and not all Xbox fans, but some Xbox fans out there. What are you guys crying about here? It's an 85. It's a damn good score. And it's a good game. I don't have an issue if you say, hey, you know what, Enrique, I don't agree with an 85. To me, it's a 90 or 95 because of this, of A, B, and C. You know, I've seen people put things out like, "Oh, this game does 4K 60 frames. I can't believe there's so many other games that can't even do 4K 60 frames. How can this game get low scores like this?" You guys do realize that a game is just more than graphics and frames per second. You do realize that a game and the sum of its parts exists on this giant spectrum. And it boggles my mind. Enjoy the damn game. It is a good game. Coalition and Ron Ferguson have done an outstanding game. The reviews that GameSpot gave this Gears 5 shouldn't take away from your enjoyment of the game. Shouldn't cause you to get all emotional. If you're getting emotional over a review, you are gaming for the wrong reasons. You're not in it for the enjoyment of gaming. Maybe you're in it for your own personal validation, I guess. I don't know. But it's got to stop. It looks bad. It looks bad. And, I get it. I don't have an issue with someone saying, I don't agree with the score. But to sit there and beat this to death and sit there and only focus on the 70s and the 60s and not focus on, bias media. They gave it to 60, 70. But no one's talking. It's funny. Bias media only works one way when it's a low score. But when it's hundreds, no bias media. No bias media there when it's 100. And I can tell you, no game's 100. No game is perfect. Unless you're Hideo Kojima and you get the Kojima bump, as I call it. And no, when the Kojima bump is not a line of cocaine. It is an additional 1 point or 2 points to any Kojima game. I'm joking, by the way. I don't get it, guys. I don't get it. I think that here's the game that people wanted. People wanted Microsoft to deliver a AAA banger, and 85 is still a banger. It's still a very good game. I don't understand what's going on here. I'm going to pull out my trusty Game Informer. Game Informer gave the game an 8.5. And I can tell you who reviewed the game. It was Andy McNamara. He's the editor-in-chief at Game Informer. Andy's been doing this for a very long time. So they gave it an 8.5, okay? And according to Game Informer, they would give this, in terms of the kind of game, they would give this game, an 8.5 would be, for Game Informer, a silver game, right? And according to Game Informer, an 8 is a very good, innovative, but perhaps not the right choice for everyone. The score indicates that there are many good things to be had, but arguably so. I think that's probably exactly how I feel about Gears. And look, and we got to stop comparing when it's Yeah. Warrior Ward says, "Where was the outrage for all the low scores given PlayStation titles like Horizon or Sounderman? Anyone calling for mobilization then?" No, no one was calling for mobilization when US Gamer gave Horizon Zero Dawn a score of a 50. Hoovy says the problem is Xbox News wanted this game to be a 90 just for bragging rights. I don't get it. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's about bragging rights. But look, even if you think this game's a 90, which you have every right to think that, which is fine, then that's all should matter. Should matter that um, that GameStop. And I'm picking on GameSpot here. I keep calling him GameStop, but GameSpot, gave it a 70, like, because that kind of seems to be at the how do I say, the what's got some people very was very upset. So sorry guys, I'm just reading the live chat here. And I don't agree. Look, this whole idea, I see people saying, "Oh, the gaming media is lowballing, Gears 5, and this is a disgrace. This is reckless. This is bad journalism." All because these things are being said, all because these individuals or these gamers don't agree with what the media says, because the media or a certain gamer who reviewed the game had a difference of opinion. Here we are today in 2019 attempting to discredit and promote intolerance to the opinion of the reviewer, who has every right, just as you do, to say, "Hey, you know what? I feel like this game's a 7." It's not the end of the world, folks. And I just don't get it. The game is great, and I just don't understand the crying, the complaining. And I brought up this came up on Crossfire last night, by the way. More Gears, and I was talking to Mooch about this on DM today, and we kind of agree. Yeah, it's more Gears. And I was having a conversation with somebody on Xbox Live last night. They were like, before, or not last night. I'm sorry, the night before when I first started playing it. They were asking me about it, and then they're like, "Oh, what do you mean more Gears? Why is that a bad thing, Enrique?" No, it's not a bad thing. I'm just saying it's more Gears. Said that today on Twitter. Somebody brought up Uncharted. Guys, we got to stop bringing up other games like this. That's just the one. Oh, what about Uncharted? Cutscenes and cover-based shooting. Guys, are you telling me that Gears 5 can't stand on its own merits, and that we have to bring in other games in order to validate Gears? That's not how that works. A game should be able to stand on its own merits. A good game, at least. Lansville Paul says the open world part of the game drags on a little. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that's probably the reason why this game isn't in the 90s. I felt like the open world part dragged. I think Act 3 and the open world part dragged on a little bit. There was side missions that I did because I wanted to experience them, but at the end of the day, they were garbage missions for me. They weren't. They didn't resonate with the main narrative, the storyline. I didn't, and there wasn't. Yeah, I got a cool upgrade out of the missions. One of the missions in Act 3, you know. But it's like, okay, yeah, that's nice. There wasn't a lot of weight behind the reward in that mission. I didn't even get an achievement for crying out loud. Now, before you guys go out there, say, "Oh, Enrique's being negative. You're hating on Gears 5. You're part of the problem." Oh. No. I'm not. I'm just giving you my honest thoughts and opinion about this game. I don't think it's a perfect game. I think an 85 is probably spot on. Um, well, I shouldn't say 85. I think probably 87 is probably, closer to 90 because I really think the narrative is that much better. And I said that on Crossfire. I thought it was, kind of trivial that, some reviews like GameSpot gave it a 70. But look, I'm not going to focus all this attention on GameSpot or US Gamer because at the end of the day, that's their opinion. And it's not reckless journalism. It isn't purposely lowballing. It's their opinion. Again, reviews. Part facts, parts opinion. But I'm just shocked, guys. I'm really shocked that here we are with this game that is just amazing. It's a great looking game. It's a great looking game. It's a lot of fun. Is it perfect? No, but it's a good game. I think it's laid a good foundation for the coalition to build upon. I think they should take this game to the next level. I think they should get rid of the tank controls. I think they should tweak how they engage enemies. Maybe add some new enemy types. Maybe bigger mini boss battles or boss battles. Sammy Prescott says, if anything, it showed me Gears 4 was scored too high. That may have been the case. Maybe. And that's the other thing. That's actually a great point, Sammy. Maybe Gears 4 was scored too high, and Gears 5 is where it should be. I mean, coming off of Judgment, Gears 4 was much better than Judgment. But Gears 4, to me, was the second weakest game in this series to Judgment. Gears 5 is the best game since Gears 3 in the Gears series. Guys, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. I really appreciate the support. Yeah, I don't get it, guys. I'm kind of just baffled by the amount of complaining and um, about this that I'm seeing. I just I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. And I gotta call out my man King David. You know I got mad love for you, King David. If I had a blue siren, I'd pull out the blue siren right now. King David actually tweeted out, "Look, it's the fact that dudes are fraudulent. 4K, 60 frames a second is fantastic. This game is a full game, but a ton of these half games get better scores. I don't half games now, guys. Games are judged mostly on their merits too, and again, part facts, part opinion. I think people are putting way too much. Guys, I think at the end of the day, I think people are putting way too much stock in the review scores. I keep saying this, and I said it on Crossfire last night. An 85 is a damn good score. Let's stop the complaining. Let's stop, pointing out what GameSpot gave the game. Fax Machine says, I'm on Act 1, Chapter 3 right now, and so far it's boring. Does it get better? I mean, I don't know. I can't say. I liked it. But see, here's the thing. You take Fax Machine, who's like, hey, I'm not enjoying it. That's his opinion. That's his experience of the game. Now he's not coming on here saying, "Oh, this game's fucking trash." He's he's providing some his observation saying, "Hey, I feel like this game is boring." Yeah, Fax Machine. I like the game. I think the narrative gets better as you progress. But like I said in my earlier, I do think that there's some pacing issues with the game. I think it gets a little boring in the open world, especially when you do those side missions. But but like I said too, I think that this is a great opportunity, a great building block for the coalition. And I said this last night. And I'll say it again. This is the Xbox One's best exclusive this console generation. Yes, it is better than Halo 5. Um, I know someone's going, oh, what about Forza Horizon? What about Ori? I should say it's their best first party game this console generation. I am not a Forza fan. I know Forza Horizon's great. It's fun. Not my kind of game, but I will say that Gears 5 is the best big AAA title that has been released on the Xbox One console. And that is the thing. If you enjoy this game, you should focus on, and not the other stuff of what GameSpot should have given this score and why it's only an 85. If that's what you're focused on, you should not be gaming. You're doing it for the wrong reasons. Reviewers aren't here to pat us on our backs and to validate our purchases. They're here to talk about objective things with the games and then also offer their opinion based on their game experience. And if you don't like it, that's fine. But let's not go off the deep end here and start name calling and saying that these guys are dropping the ball or lowballing or reckless or irresponsible. Because that to me is not, that's counterproductive, and that's not what gaming's all about, in my opinion. In my opinion, we should be celebrating this. This is a great title for the Xbox One. Warrior Word says you'd be so much more popular on Twitter if you just accept the bias against Xbox. There are secret meetings that all the big sites have in the Hamptons monthly to figure out ways to hurt Xbox. Well said, Worry. I would probably be more popular and have more subs if I bought into that conspiracy and if I was constantly drumming the pro Xbox stuff. But I'm a gamer, guys. I own all three consoles. I don't give a fuck about console wars. I don't care that GameSpot gave the game a 70. I don't care that US Gamer gave the game a 60. Now, if you were to ask my opinion, do I agree with it? No, based on what I played. But I'm not going to lose my mind and lose sleep over it. Salty's Gaming says, I want a pat on my back. Salty, I will pat you on your back. Yeah, I don't look. I don't think there's. And I do want to clarify something. I don't think there's anything wrong having a discussion of saying, "Hey, you know what? Um, I don't agree with the review that Game Informer gave because based on my experience, A, B, and C, and offer constructive criticism or feedback as to why you don't agree. That's cool. We can have those discussions. But the anger, oh my God, I can't believe it, or oh my God, what the hell are these reviewers smoking, or oh my God, they're not professional, or oh my God, this is media bias again, or oh my God, this is reckless. So counterproductive and not what gaming's about. Not what gaming's about. By the way, Salties, I actually enjoyed your review. I thought it was well done. Um, Salty says, "How come IGN hasn't posted their review on Metacritic?" They are doing a two-part review. Salty, they did the review of the campaign, and they're doing which they gave an 8.8. Remember, bias IGN guys. Remember, IGN was the devil to Xbox. If you guys remember that, um, IGN gave it an 8.8, and then they're going to do their separate review of Gears 5 multiplayer and give that a separate review score as well, and then combine both scores to give it an aggregate score. All right, Game Over HD says, I agree with you, Enrique, but this is the land of free people entitled to what they want to say. I'm not going out there hating on any game that Microsoft brings. Yeah, I mean people can say what they want. Johnny, the truth tells us the review scores were good anywhere from 8.8 to 9.2. Why would they be complaining about that? The people complain about the Metacritic. Salty says the user review score are way better than Gears of War 4. Yeah, they are. They are, and that's interesting. I mean, it's interesting that the review scores, that the user review scores are better. But I mean, again, it's all guys. It's all subjective. I mean, it really is at the end of the day. I mean, I know people that are playing Gears 5 that don't like it. I actually know somebody who thinks Gears 4 is better. So it's all subjective. Gaming Addict says anyone that rated this below 8 is smoking meth, but it's whatever. What about the people that gave it 100, Gaming Addict? Are they smoking meth too? Because this game is not a perfect 100. And by the way, guys, I actually go by OpenCritic. I think OpenCritic right now. Last time I checked, let me check OpenCritic real quick since we're talking about this. Gears 5, OpenCritic. Oh, okay. So OpenCritic's got it at an 85, and then 92% of the of critics recommend the game. It's got a mighty rating on OpenCritic. So I mean, come on, guys. I mean, that's is a good place for this game to be at. At the end of the day, this game is good. The majority of reviewers think it's good. You're never going to get, because people have different tastes, different opinions, you're never going to get 100% of people to agree on everything. That's why you'll never get 100. That's why I question any game now that gets 100. There's no such thing, I think, as a perfect game. You know? Addict says nothing is a 10, but to say this is a 6 is a crime. I think US Gamer, who gave it a 60, I think that's their shtick. Maybe, who knows? They gave Horizon Zero Dawn a 50, so at least they're consistent about it. But whatever, they gave it a 60. It is what it is. I don't agree with it. I read the reviews. I didn't agree with the how they characterized the story and the characters. I'm not having the same experience that they're having. So I don't agree with their review. But I'm not going to go batshit crazy over it. Yeah, it's a Digital Foundry. It's a great looking game. No one's I don't think anyone's disputing that. Ishan Rashid, what is going on, man? Yeah, Gaming Addict says US Gamer needs to be took off that site because it's not the first time they do it for chat. Yeah, they probably do. It's like I said, it's like, who's that guy? Jim Sterling, is that who it is? Who always gives those hard reviews? Maybe that's their shtick. Sean Rashid, can I be honest about Gears 5? It's firmly an 8 for me. An 8's a good score. That's not bad. Wraith the Emperor says, I think a great game, maybe because it's a short campaign, but I think people are upset because they want to rub it in the other side's face, but I'm not sure. Uh, I'm sure there's probably some people who want to puff their chest out and be like, "Yeah, we finally got one. We got a 90. That's not Forza." Maybe maybe some people out there. I don't know. Maybe. Gamer HG says maybe some people don't like the little bit of changes that Coalition did at Gears. You know what? That's actually a great point. I did read some reviews where people felt like they didn't like the tiptoeing around the open world, that they should have kept it true Gears. There's people out there that feel that way. You know, I'm not one of those individuals. I think the franchise needs to evolve more. Look, guys, there is such a thing. Look, I've been gaming for fucking ever. for like 40 years almost. And there is such thing as franchise or game fatigue. There is. I think Sony was dead on, um, putting Uncharted to rest, and no longer and moving on from Nathan Drake. They needed to do that. And that was a smart move by them. Um, they'll probably do the same thing with The Last of Us. And before you say, well, what about Mario? What about Zelda? The thing with Nintendo, Nintendo takes a lot of creative risks. They also do a lot of changes to, um, level design, gameplay mechanics in their franchises. Like Breath of the Wild is probably the easiest example. You take a Zelda game that's never really been a truly open world. Well, you could say that the first Legend of Zelda was that top-down open world, what we would consider open world back during the 8-bit era. It was back then, but it's never gone like open world, like they say, like Witcher 3 open world, and it didn't have like um, weapon degradation the way that uh, they never had that in Zelda, and so they added these new mechanics, these new features. They made it open world, and that's a reason why I think that game in particular was praised so much. But it's not just a matter of trying new things. It's this is kind of it's really kind of how those things work together. It's like the pieces of a game have to complement each other well, and that's why it's so hard. Like David Jaffe said, it's really hard to make a fucking good game. It's not easy. There's very few developers that have ever made a bad game. Very few. It's not easy. Slow Mo Backslap says, nah, Enrique, Breath of the Wild is overrated. Please, everyone, no one listen to Slow Mo Backslap. He's never played Breath of the Wild. He just got a Nintendo Switch. He's never played it. Gaming Addict says, Zelda's Breath of the Wild is an average Zelda game. I disagree, sir. But see, that's what I'm saying. This is where people's opinions, and I know Addicts played a lot of Zeldas. People's opinions vary, and this holds true for game reviewers. Eshan Rashid says Gears 5 is a great game, but it isn't Game of the Year type. People need to give it a rest. It's an amazing game, but it lacks the last bit to make it stand out. Yeah, I don't think Gears 5 is a Game of the Year game. I'm my favorite games so far this year have been well, Fire Emblem 3 or Fire Emblem Three Houses is really amazing. That's my favorite game so far this year. Um, and I would say my favorite game so far of this console generation is probably The Witcher 3. I mean, talk about a game that fires in all cylinders. Almost damn near perfect. Slow Mo, stop lying. You never played Breath of the Wild, man. Hey guys, don't listen to Slow Mo. He's lying. He's lying, and he's lying. He's supposed to be at his wife's picnic or something right now. Work picnic. Gaming Ice says, "How many Zelda games have you played? Is that directed towards Slow Mo or me? I've played. See, Word hated The Witcher. Gaming Ice says Gears is a Game of the Year contender for sure. I don't know about that. Oh yeah, Resident Evil 2. That's right, Resident Evil 2. That's actually probably one of my Game of the Years. That game was awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome. Awesome. So see, you look at things like Worried hates Witcher. I think that The Witcher is great. And look, the point is, it's all subjective too. A lot of this is subjective. If we all have difference of opinions, I don't know why people don't think that reviewers have difference of opinions or might not share the same experiences that we do. But you don't see me going after Worrywart saying, "Oh my God, Worry's being reckless. Worry's biased against CD Project Red because he doesn't like Witcher 3. Ooh, Saltiest Gaming, you need to play Resident Evil 2, sir. Matter of fact, if you I will gift that game to you. You need to play it. It is awesome, dude. Awesome, 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 awesome. And thank you, Sean, for reminding me about that. But I play so many damn games. Ooh, Salty says Sekiro. Game of the dude, Sekiro's pretty good. Sekiro's a good game. As Sean receives, and I can respect that. I'm not a fan of Witcher 3. I'm not a fan of high fantasy, but I can totally rock with you. I wish people could do the same when people say Gears 5 isn't game of the year material. Sammy says, for me personally, Sekiro's my game of the year. Yeah, Sekiro's a damn good game. Gaming Addict says difference is most people say that Witcher is a good game. Yeah, most people say Witcher's a good game, but a lot of people are saying Gears of War is a good game or Gears 5 is a good game. Worry doesn't like The Witcher 3, and Ashan Rashid doesn't like Witcher 3 either. As Sean says, the biggest takeaway from Gears 5 being as good as it is that Microsoft finally have a studio capable of producing something truly remarkable. I agree with you 100%, Sean. I think Coalition is Microsoft's best studio right now. I think they put 343 on notice with Gears 5. 343, you need to step up your game now. Thank you. The Coalition has stepped up theirs. You need to do the same too. Where it says great story, but the gameplay for me was just meh. I'm assuming you're talking about Worry. Where I'm assuming you're talking about The Witcher 3. Ryan List is chat bias. Mara says, I just can't stand the fact that every death ends with a killing blow with Sekiro. Well, yeah, that's the thing, man. You got to get that death blow. God, that combat is so fucking good at Sekiro. Warrior where it says Gears is like Spinal Tap's amp. It goes to 11. Well played, sir. Game Over HD says, I bought The Witcher day one and I didn't like it either. Pixel Pit G says 343 would deliver with Infinite. I don't know, guys. I don't know if I agree with that. I'm on the fence with 343. I hated the campaign in Gears 5. The multiplayer was good, but the campaign was just not good. Again, that's a situation. I mean, like, what else can they do with Master Chief? Guys, how many times do we want to drive around a Scorpion tank, run around, shoot grunts? I don't know. I mean, people can get mad at me for saying this. I don't care, but I'm getting fatigued with that game. You know, I and people, what about side games, Enrique? You get fatigued with them? Yeah, I was getting fatigued with Uncharted 4. I'm glad that um, they finished. Well, they came out with the Uncharted spin-off, which was okay. You know, there was parts of that game that kind of bored me a little bit because it was like, okay, I just played Uncharted 4, and guys, I'm telling you that people don't believe it, but that's a thing. Like, it's fatigue is a thing. Salty says Synchro Combat is fine wine. It is, man. It really is. Gaming Addict, I will do rants on Halo for a year all day. Yeah, I'm look, I wasn't impressed with the trailer they showed. I wasn't impressed with with Halo 5's campaign. It's 343's job to show me why I should care about this game because I have started to lose interest in Halo. I just have. I've gotten fatigued. And yeah, I concerned for Gears? Yeah, because you need to understand something in the gaming industry when you don't show a part of your game, you show when you show one aspect of your game and not the other. That's always been a cornerstone of that franchise of their game. That has historically not worked well or in the favor of developers. So I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that's what it is. You know. Saltiest Gaming says franchise fatigue is definitely a thing. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't one of those guys saying that Gears 5 campaign was going to be trash or doo doo butter, but I was like, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on here? We have enough proof of that historically from developers when they don't show certain things of a game or they withhold aspects of a game. Um, it's typically because those pieces of that game or that part that they haven't shown is either a weak point or not a good, uh, just not a good piece of the game. And remember, you can go back to Crackdown 3 and the multiplayer, how they showed it and then didn't show it for a long time. Gimme says franchise fatigue is only a thing if the game starts being bad. Um, I don't know. I mean, I'm fatigued with Halo. I'm fatigued with Halo, and people like Halo, so I don't agree with that. Bad is subjective, and the fatigue. I mean, look, it's a thing, but not everyone's probably going to experience it. But there's going to be people that definitely after Halo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it's still the same thing. You're still driving around a damn Scorpion tank and shooting grunts. That's going to get boring after a while, especially when there's other content that's fighting for our attention. Look, I own 3 consoles, right? And I enjoy watching TV. I enjoy movies. I enjoy Netflix. There's some really good shows on Netflix and Amazon Prime. Um, there's some good games on all platforms. For me, it's like I got to the point now where it's like, a game's really got to capture my attention. It's got to be good. If it's something I've played, something I experienced, and I'm tired of it, I'm not going to give it. It could be rated well by reviewers, but I'm not going to play it. If it's something I've played over and over again, I feel like okay, this is the same experience the last 3 or 4 times that I've played the other iterations or versions of the game. Ryan List says Master Chief needs a beard and a son. Yes, Master Chief needs something. He does need something. Warrior says, "What happened to Xbox Live is the real issue. Goes down more than not my goes down more than not my wife. Oh my goodness." Slow Mo backs up says, "This is what I've been saying about Halo. It's time to evolve." It's funny. I was talking to Lord Cognito about Master Chief, and we felt like maybe we're getting tired of Master Chief because he's under a mask. We don't know him. There's no connection to him as a character. Other than this Rambo figure who goes around shooting aliens. But doesn't it get tired after a while? Like, don't you guys get tired of doing that superhero going around shooting the same aliens? I mean, I think at this point he probably should have wiped out the entire Covenant. Slumbo back says the newer generation doesn't care for that kind of game, and the older generation slowly starts to move on. It's a good point, Slimo. Javier McCann says Crackdown 3 campaign is actually really good. Maybe the multiplayer wasn't good, but it's not a trash game. I disagree with you, sir, on that. I didn't really care for the multiplayer. It became very repetitive for me, and there's so many other games that I could have played that were better at that time when that game came out. But again, that's cool if you like it, man. As Sean Rashid says, Enrique, to be honest, do you feel like diehard Xbox fans are upset that Gears 5 isn't translating into a reckoning? Do you feel like Sony Nintendo guys just don't see it as enough to vindicate Xbox? Yeah, I could see that. I think that's probably part of it. I think with the some of the some not all Xbox fans feel this way, by the way, and even some of the diehard Xbox fans aren't upset, but they are a minority out there that are upset that Gears 5 didn't translate into this kind of reckoning. And there's definitely Sony Nintendo guys that don't see it enough to vindicate Xbox. I've seen people make comments about that, but I don't even look at like Gears 5 as a vindication for Xbox. Other than that, it's a good game for the Xbox One. It takes advantage of the Xbox One X. Finally, a game that really does that. Um, and I think that's what people should be excited about. That it's a good game, takes advantage of the Xbox One X, and it's a good way to kind of to wrap up 2019 for that console. Forte says Halo never got boring, sir. Yes, it's boring, Forte. Slow-mo says you got to find a way to make it different, but still Halo. I agree with that. Javier McCann says play Destiny wasn't good, but you still play it. So why do you got to complain about other games? People have different opinions about different games. People like different games. Yeah, okay. Saltia says they need different aliens. Yeah, that's actually, you know what? Give us different aliens, and you know what? Fucking take the helmet off, Master Chief, or give him a new outfit or something. Different guns, RPG mechanic. Hey, 343 needs to hire Saltiest Gaming. By the way, someone needs to hire him. Salty, you need to replace Bonnie Ross. Irrelevant says, I just want the stakes to be raised in a more connecting, relatable way with Halo. I do. That's well said, man. Pixel G says, hell nah, tired of weirdo feeling story games. And Covenant is how many billions of enemied. Sammy Prescott says, at slow mo backslap exactly. If it's the same game with a new coat of paint, what's the point? That's kind of my point with Halo. And Saltius, you are saying what I think all of us have been saying for years. Xbox just needs new big AAA franchises. Yes, and the thing is, let's face it, guys. If Microsoft had put out some other big AAA bangers, new ones, newer franchises, there probably wouldn't be so much hanging on the hat of Gears 5 for some of the diehards out there. We probably wouldn't be as focused on Gears 5. You see this with Sony. You see this with Nintendo. As Sean Rasheed says, can we talk about the other glaring issue that's been happening with Xbox over the past 6 years? Phil Spencer, Xbox, Microsoft in general, consistently um, hype things up. Rada was hyping Gears reviews. Yeah, I think they've kind of. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think Rod was right for hyping the Gears reviews, though. Because there were solid reviews there. I think that I see what you're saying with the Phil hyping things, and maybe them saying one thing and then changing something else, saying one thing and then doing another, or canceling something. Where it says, all in all, it's another Gears game at the end of the generation. Without great new IP, the old stable of IP will slowly score lower and lower. That is a great point, Worry, and I think that is kind of why we're seeing, maybe to an extent, and that fatigue I talked about, maybe why Gears is at 85 minutes. But anyhow, yeah, I hope that next console gen they really focus on bringing home some new games to the Xbox platform. It's a little, and I know I get a lot of shit for this. People are like, oh, why do you still own an Xbox? Just sell it. Well, one, because I've been tied to the ecosystem for 20 years. I have friends on Xbox Live that I've been gaming with for 20 years. It's really 18 years. I'm just rounding up at this point because I bought the OG Xbox November 2001, and then was an Xbox Live beta tester shortly after. So I have a lot of friends that I've been playing with for 17 years, and it's I don't want to walk away from the friends that I've built relationships with. Some of these guys have gone to ball games with, barbecued with. Watched. I've watched them progress in their lives. They watch me progress. We've gotten married, had kids, and all that stuff. So, it's kind of hard to walk away from that. But, I want to see, like Warry said, new games. Um, and as Sean Rashid says, that creates insane expectations. Yeah, I think you're right with the old stable of IPs. That's a great point. Wraith the Emperor with the $2 super chat. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the support. Just speak your mind, Enrique, good sir. Look. I'm just here to just look. I'm not like I always say. I started rap. This is a talk show. I'm just here to talk about video games and you know just offer my opinion on stuff. Um, where it says wait, he isn't a woman in response to Ryan Landis saying Master Chief could be Master Chief can be a woman, or Salty is saying that. Sean Rashid says every E3 is the best E3 ever. Every game is the best game ever. Every event is the biggest surprise ever. Yeah, okay, that's a great point, Sean. That's I stopped listening to Microsoft beating that drum saying everything's going to be the best because um, they need to show me. Um, they need, if they're going to be saying, I just don't believe that anymore when they say that until they show me otherwise. You notice how Nintendo doesn't do that, by the way. They just do Nintendo Directs and show games. Sometimes less is more. Gamer Ratio says that's a fact where Xbox fans should be knocking at the door at Redmond, demanding more new quality diversity IPs. Forte says I got 5 minutes. What? What do you got 5 minutes, Forte? What are you talking about, buddy? TL Marty Sparring Guy says, for all we know, Master Chief can be Enrique. Yeah, I could be Master Chief. Get over here. I thought I would talk. I'd try to incorporate like a Marcus Phoenix type voice for Master Chief. Ryan Landis says, I am Master Chief. Lensville Paul says, at Enrique, that's why Sony's so absent from so many events because they are heavily invested in the PS5 with those great games. Yeah, I mean, Sony did, they did mention that they were going to lay low prior to the next console gen, and they're doing that. Look, Sony's not fucking around. Sony's very focused on putting out games. Sean Layden has his eye on the ball. He said, we're going to put out big AAA games with awesome graphics. The Almighty Podcast says, y'all heard it first. Enrique's Master Chief. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Gaming Forte says, Enrique, I shouldn't be upset, but why did Antonio Brown sign with my Patriots today? Are you surprised by that? Forte, I knew as soon as he left the Raiders, I'm like, he's going to go to the Patriots. Because, they look, Bill Belichick, if you go to the Patriots, you're not going to mess around. Bill Belichick's going to let you know what time it is. And they want to win another Super Bowl. And if they can get him to buy in and not be a problem player, Tom Brady's got one hell of a target. If they can get Josh What's-His-Face, who was suspended, if they can get him straight, yeah, shit, man. Just give the Patriots another trophy at this point. Slow-mo backs says, imagine Nintendo seeing Super Mario World for N64 get a consensus 98 on Metacritic and deciding to do the exact same game for every generation, expecting the same results. Well said, sir. Javier McCann says, so you have a problem with Xbox using the same as PlayStation does, Uncharted, God of War, all those third-person shooter games. They're all pretty much the same. So you complain about Xbox, complain about PlayStation. Javier, we got to stop doing this. Seriously. Like this whole thing. Oh, but Uncharted does this. No. Okay, look. All games incorporate. Okay. All games, guys. And we know if you've been gaming a long time, you know this. All games incorporate um, and borrow from other games. That's just the facts of life. You look at Uncharted 4. The first Uncharted borrowed some of the cover-based mechanics from Gears and Resident Evil, and Gears did some of the same with some of those RE games, and so there's certain games. I mean, look at open world RPGs. We talked about Breath of the Wild, Weapon Degradation. Weapon Degradation wasn't new to Breath of the Wild. It was borrowed from other games that have done it. The thing you need to understand, Javier, is that it's how these games are put together and how that vision is executed. When it's all put together, does it work well? Do the gameplay mechanics complement level design, vice versa? Does the narrative work? Does the pacing of the narrative work? Those things. Do we care about the characters if it's a story-driven game? Are those characters fleshed out? It's not just God of War is third person and Kratos throws an axe. So why aren't you complaining about that? Well, no, that's a simplistic way of looking at God of War and not taking into account all the great things God of War does in terms of character development, adding Kratos' son into the gameplay mechanics in terms of combat. That's not easy to implement. I mean, he could have been some token character that would have been a waste, but he actually worked well within the construct of the mechanics or the fighting mechanics. That's not easy to do. So you have to look at the totality of everything that goes into the game and how all the pieces of these games complement each other. It's not just as simple as saying, oh, well, God of War is third person and Uncharted's third person and Uncharted, you do cover base and it's cutscenes. No, it's not just that. It's a simplistic way of looking at it, and it's not an accurate way of looking at it because you're totally disregarding all the other things that go into the game and how these games work. That is my rant. Thank you. All right. Gamer Issue says energy should have been there from beginning of Sea of Thieves. Drop before State of Decay 2. Before the past exclusive drop. That's not what the fans wanted. Yep, I agree with that. Sean Rashid says, I'm glad no one said their favorite game this generation is Red Trash Redemption. Sean, sir, that is a good. I enjoyed Red Dead Redemption 2. One of my favorite games this console generation. Oh, Ryan Landis. Not like this. Not like this, man. Come on. By the way, guys, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Not like this, Ryan. Ryan Landis says, too many gamers have PTSD, PlayStation titles stress disorder. Not like that, sir. By the way, guys, I want to wrap this rant up because I do want to get back to Gears of War 5. Um, Look, in '85 is a great game, great score. We should all be celebrating this great work um, that the coalition has done. Um, Scores aside, fuck the scores. Enjoy the game, um, but don't get your feelings hurt if GameSpot gave it a 7. I mean, it's not a big deal. It really isn't. If you're enjoying the game, that's all that matters. That's what gaming's about. It's about having fun, and it's this is a great game. I've been telling people if you own an Xbox One. By the way, if you own an Xbox One S, do yourself a favor. Go out and buy an Xbox One X to experience this game. Yeah, this game needs to really be played on the Xbox One X. It really does. Pixel B just says best writing ever. People also ignoring that 4K 60. Yeah, it's dynamic 4K. It runs 60. Yeah, it looks great. It's a great looking game. Um, but I think the narrative is and the way they fleshed out the characters in this game is much better than Gears 4. And like I said on Crossfire, I didn't care about JD coming into this game. I care about JD now. I want to know what the hell's going on in his mind. Yeah, and Sammy Prescott brings up a good point. 4K 60 doesn't equal a high score. That's the other thing, guys. That's just because a console game, does 4K 60 doesn't mean that it's going to get good scores. Because again, that's only one piece of the game. It's not an automatic. Oh my God, like the 4K 60 or 4K 120. It's got to be a 10. No, it's not how this works. It's not how any of that works. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up my rant because I want to get back to Gears 5 because it's a damn good game and I'm enjoying it. So please go out there. If you have an Xbox One, you owe yourself to buy this game. Hell, you could pick it up on Game Pass for 99 cents. So yeah, go out there and I'm sorry guys, we're reading the chat here. Some interesting conversations going on. Sammy Prescott says, at the end of the day, 85 is a good fair score. It's a good 85 is a damn good score. Damn good score. Javier McKay says, so see if these State of Decay, Crackdown 3, Gears of War, Halo, they all do different things, but if for some reason it sounds like you always complain about, I don't know what you're trying to say, Javier. I will say this, I just didn't think Crackdown 3 was a good game. I thought the gameplay loop was very repetitive. Um, I thought they missed an opportunity with Terry Crews. It just got boring to me. So, I mean, and State of Decay 2 was a buggy mess. It just, yeah, wasn't fun. Um, but guys, again, if you own an Xbox One, and I'm working on the review for Gears 5, I'm going to review the campaign. I was hoping to get that review out tomorrow. I don't know if that's going to happen. Hope to get it out by at least before the 10th or by the 10th, because the 10th is actually the official retail release date for Gears 5. So if you own an Xbox One, do yourself a favor, sign up for Game Pass, Ultimate Game Pass, so you can play this game today. Don't wait. It's a great game. You're probably going to enjoy it. If you don't, let me know, and let me know why you didn't enjoy it. But I'm willing to bet dollars to donuts that you're probably going to enjoy Gears 5 because, in my opinion, it is Microsoft's best AAA banger that they've released so far this console generation. So, on that note, my rant is up. I am over and out. I am done. I'm going back to play Gears 5. Big shout out to everybody in the live chat. Thank you guys for coming to hang out with me, listen to me bitch and complain, and give you my opinions. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate everyone's opinions. By the way, I welcome everyone's opinions in the live chat, whether I agree with you or not. I feel like having a difference of opinion, sharing a difference of opinion is a good thing, right? It's a good thing. So everyone, hit that like button, subscribe. If you haven't checked out some of the campaign footage that I put up on YouTube from my Twitch channel, definitely check that out. I have some walkthroughs for Act 1 and Act 2 of Gears 5. If you're interested in taking a look at that is up there. And I will be doing an unboxing video of the Gears 5 controller. So that's going to be coming out probably in the next couple of days or so. Just got to find time to do it. All right, guys. I'm out. Thank you, everyone. Like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Unless I decide to do another rant. Next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you guys. Peace. Peace, peace, peace. Boom. Suppressive.